What's up, y'all? This is the Curious One. Uh, I just wanted to use that lighter because it reminds me of the old GI Joes with the backpack that had the sound effects in it. I don't know if y'all remember those or not, but it cracks me up. So, uh, yeah, today it was today. So today I went to the mailbox and I had this package. I don't know if you guys can see that. I believe you can. It says EVS. So this is my Cyberfrog 2-pack that's finally come in. And I'm kind of excited about it. I'm going to do an unboxing. As you can see, there is a bit of damage here. There's a pretty good ding. And here there's a pretty good ding. But I have seen way worse. I've had way worse comic books come in. And the comic books still be in mint to really good condition. So I don't believe that that's going to be an issue at all. But I wanted to, we'll go ahead and we'll open this. So I thought this would be a lot easier. I know there's going to be a bunch of wiggling going on. Sorry about this, guys. We broke everything. We broke everything. Hold on, let me pause it. We'll open it up and then we'll do it again. Alright, so I got it torn open. And we're just going to go ahead and slide everything out here. Just like this. Okay. There is... I don't think you guys are going to be able to see it. There's nothing left in there. You're just going to have to trust me on that. So, if any of y'all know me, you know that I have had a few issues with the artist, but for the most part, I don't hate the dude. He's good. He's a cool guy. He's a fantastic artist. So I'm going to look at this and I'm going to be fair. I mean, I've seen other people try to be mean. They don't like EVS or whatnot. So they're just like, well, I don't like him, so everything he gave me is crap. I'm not going to do that. That's just not fair. It's not honorable. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to be like that. I'm going to go ahead and look at this stuff. I think this is the extras here. So he actually, or they actually, I think he has somebody that's doing everything for him. So they actually bagged and boarded the extras separately, which is kind of cool. So, special backers promo, 2 cards per pack. I think it's one Cyberfrog and 1 Salamandroid card. I'm not sure. I probably will not open it. I did not open the Bigfoot Bill cards, but I did. Luckily, Pixel Trader did a video where he did open the Bigfoot Bill cards. So I got to see all the cards without having to open mine. So thank you, Pixel Trader, for doing that. And we have a bookmark. I do like those letters. And the colors right there from Cal Ritter make that eye just shine, dude. It's pretty awesome. And then we get a Cyberfrog. I believe this is a cling that you can put in your window of your vehicle. And again, the art is fantastic. We can get it to focus. Look at the line work. Line work is fantastic. And the colors are awesome. Okay, so I believe I backed this during the first month. I ordered the 2-pack, and I'll tell you guys why later at the end. And unfortunately, I did find something that I do not like, and I do have to tell Ethan that it's something that he's going to probably have to look into, or hopefully be able to fix before everybody else get their books. But like I said, they bagged and boarded the extras, which is really cool. But unfortunately, they took the 2 books and they stuffed it in one bag without putting it's not boarded, it's just 2 bags in a book. Which is fine. But I'm afraid that it's possible that the books may get damaged being packaged that way. But I don't know. It's possible, especially with the chromium, because it's real shiny. Something in my mind says that the colors that are on top of the shiny, something just says to me that that's going to scratch very easily, and the 2 books inside there rubbing against each other, I just don't think that's a good idea. It doesn't really matter too much in my situation, because, and I'll explain it more detailed later, but one of these books is actually going to go to somebody else, so I'm going to bag and board each book before I give one to my friend, and then I keep one myself. Now, as you can see, they're both the same cover, which is fine. I didn't really know exactly what was going to happen with that. When I ordered the 2-pack, I didn't know if it was going to be one cover of Cyberfrog, one cover of Salamandroid, or the team up cover, or I really didn't know. I'm actually kind of glad that it came this way, because there's, like I said, one book is going to be for me, one book is going to be for a friend. So the fact that I don't have to try to pick and then him go, oh, why'd you keep the cool one? Or, you know what I mean? So it's kind of good that they're both the same cover, but at the same time, I would have liked it to been. I think certain people who backed the 2 book may have wanted one cover and one cover, you know. But that's all relative. Doesn't really matter to me. I'm just thinking maybe other people, but the fact that they're not both bagged and boarded is an issue, I believe, but that's just me. The other people may not have a problem with it. So let's see, we'll pull one of these out of here. As you can see, it is not damaged at all, even though it did come in a box that was damaged. Everything looks good. I'm not going to give you an up-close view, because then it's just me looking in the mirror, and y'all don't want to see my ugly mug, trust me. But that does look beautiful. Until I put my nasty-ass fingerprints on there, it was really clean. I don't see any scratches or anything on it. It looks great. The cover looks beautiful. There's a little line right there, but with the chromium covers, you're gonna have to. The ink is just gonna be easily scratched, I think. To be honest with you, there's one little tiny scratch there. You may be able to see it, you may not. But it does look beautiful, especially the eye. Cyberfrog's eye looks awesome. It's not going to come across to you guys, but in person it looks amazing. Extremely shiny on the inside here too, as you can see, and you can also see where it's actually indented. The Cyberfrog is indented into the page, it looks like, or he's built up, one of the two. But I don't think that's going to come across to you guys very well, but it looks really nice in person. Now he has a board, like a Bristol type board, used in doing art for comic books, and he has it printed up as though it's a board that he would send to artists to do comic art for his books, which his imprint is all caps. Of course, this would be bigger if he was actually sending this to his artists. It would be bigger, but it would look very, very similar without the writing and the insignia here. It would have the outlines so you could tell like what's going to be seen when it goes to the printer and what will not be. And of course, the way comic books are stapled together, there's going to be one in the front, one in the back. It's the opening. Of course, it's created, written, and illustrated by Ethan Van Sciver, colored by Kyle Ritter. Kyle Ritter is the colorist, and he is amazing. For those of you that don't know, Kyle Ritter is actually hearing impaired, so that's why I wrote that down. I'm sure he watches these videos. If he watches this video, it'll be in, he'll have subtitles for it probably. But I just wanted to do that just to, just for him. And then it's lettered by Samani. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly or not. And then, it's dedicated to his wife, Hunter, his children, and to each and every fan who helped Cyberfrog to wake up again. That's pretty awesome. So we have part 1. And it's pretty awesome. I mean, nothing negative I could say about that. I know some people complained about the lettering, but from what I understand, that's actually the lettering that he used in his original Cyberfrog. Oh crap, I guess I should have mentioned that earlier. So for those of you that don't know, when Ethan Van Sciver first got his start, he was published by Harris Comics somewhere in Indiana, and he did some Cyberfrog comic books way back in the day, before his big time career, before he ended up with the big two. He actually had a comic book called Cyberfrog, and in the original books, this was the lettering that they used. Some people have complained about the lettering. They said that, it takes away, or maybe it's harder to read, or, this or that. I look at it and I really like it, because to me it's different. And it's just accented well, and I just really, really like it. But I spent a little while doing graffiti and stuff, so to me this kind of it calls me, you know what I mean? Like I look at that and I'm like, hey, that's pretty cool. I like the fact that, it's not just standard letters, you know. And let's see here. I do see a little bit of the fluting, but that's something else some people I've seen complain about, is that the pages are wavy because the ink just doesn't soak in properly, or it wasn't dried properly, or the page is too thin or something like that. The pages are a little bit thinner than what I'm used to, but those of y'all that know me know that I didn't really grow up reading comic books, and I don't think I would even noticed if it wasn't for the fact that other people have mentioned it already. You know what I mean? So to me, it's not a big issue. Even the paperweight doesn't really bother me. I mean, it is a little bit thinner than what I've seen from the comic books that I have backed, that I have already received. It does feel a little bit thinner, but I don't think I would have even noticed. And as far as the waviness, I've seen worse. Just from the small amount of times that I've been reading comic books, I've seen worse than that. So that's not a big issue to me. Now, I've seen most of this art. In fact, I've probably seen all of it by now. But it all looks really great. I mean, look at that. That's fantastic. That looks like something some crazy hippie or an acid head would have hanging on his wall in his little trip room. You know what I mean? It's awesome. And like, I can't say anything bad about Ethan's art. I can't say anything bad about the colors. I mean, it's just great looking. And I have seen originals, the original design of Cyberfrog, and I must say that the redesign is a lot better. Although the original design kind of reminds me of what was it called? There were like these crazy muscle cars that had like their eyes were popping out and everything, and they had the big 8-ball gear shifters and stuff. I can't remember what it's called, but if any of y'all remember what they were, go ahead and comment down below and let me know what it was. Right now, I'm just kind of letting you guys look at the art. I'm not going to let you look at everything, just because even though I've seen the majority of it, probably not everybody that's going to see this video has seen all of it. So I don't want to spoil too much of the story. I don't want to spoil too much of the art for you. But everything looks great. And it seems like the more black that's on the pages is going to be the pages that have the most fluting, because of how much ink has to be dumped in there in order to make it opaque. You know what I mean? Like this page here, I don't see any fluting whatsoever, even though it's really dark. Unlike the first page that was just completely black almost. So I'm guessing that it just had to do with probably the drying time on that first page. Yeah, even this looks, yeah, you know what I mean? Like even here where it's almost, this whole section is black, I don't really see a little bit, tiny bit, tiny bit. if I look for it, I see it. Look at that. That's the hive. Now, I'm not really going to tell you any story. This is just pretty much unboxing and a peek at it, peek at the book. All right, let's see if we can look at that detail. It's pretty awesome. A huge Cyberfrog splash right there, double page splash. That is badass. That would make a good poster. $1998, which I believe is the year that he actually got the original comic published. I could be wrong. You guys can let me know in the comments. But as you can see, he's even got Jinko graffiti up here. It says Jinko. So you can, those of you that are old enough, you can think about what time you were wearing Jinkos, or people in your school were wearing Jinkos. All right, guys, here goes my my little bitch fest, and I'm gonna do it without any personal opinions about Ethan himself. I'm sure he's a great guy. I don't really know him personally, but there's little things that kind of peeve me off, but we're gonna keep all that out of it. And the first thing that I can say is the fact that in the 2-pack, they're both in one bag. There's no board in between them to keep them safe, and even more so that they're not both bagged and boarded individually. I do kind of have a problem with that. But like I said earlier, that is not something that Ethan is actually doing himself. He does have somebody that is doing the distribution for him. So it may be something that he's not even aware of. As beautiful as this cover is, the back pages, it's mirror finish. You know what I mean? Like, you can see yourself. You could, if you're a female, you could do your makeup in the back of this book. But that's going to be a very thin layer on top of a piece of paper. So the more that they rub together, the more they rub on stuff, the more little nicks and scratches and stuff that you're going to get, and you're not going to be able to keep it pristine if you're not very careful. Even on a bag and board, it may get some blemishes if there's a piece of dust or a little piece of dirt in there that's rubbing against it. So that's my first issue. And the other issue is the elephant in the room. It's the fact that the book was so late. And I don't think that would have been that big of an issue for me, to be honest with you, because I saw how much time it would take him to do each page. I actually watched him draw a lot of pages. During his live streams on YouTube and stuff. And I don't think it would have been as big of an issue, but I got in, I believe, the first month thinking that I only had that month to back. And at the time, I didn't have that much money, and I had been talking to a friend and hyping him up about it, trying to convince him that, you know, Comicsgate was a good thing, and that, you know, come check it out. It's fun. It's funny. It's, you know, the people are great, everything. And finally he was like, he goes, well, how much is it? How much is it? And I was like, 25 bucks. Ah, crap. It's not signed either. I thought it, oh yeah, it is signed. It's signed down on the first page. So, okay. Because that was something that I promised my friend. Signed comic book. He was like, oh, okay, a signed comic book for $25. That's cool. I go, $10 for shipping. He was like, all right. And he gives me $35 and was like, go order me one. I was like, all right, cool. I got you, bro. It should be here by December, by Christmas. He says it's supposed to be here by November, but it will definitely be here by Christmas. He's like, all right, cool. That's cool. I'm going to give it to my chick for Christmas. And then I continue watching the channel, and I'm looking at like how many pages he's in, and I'm like, dude, that's actually, let me go back. When I'm going to order my friend's book, I realized for like 25 bucks I could get in on it, and I just give I go back and I give him $10 back. Yeah, I go back and I give him $10 back, and I'm like, I got a book, you got a book. We'll have to chop up the extras. And he's like, no, don't worry about the extras. All I want is a signed comic for my chick, you know? And so I'm like telling homie, I'm like, look, I don't think we're going to get it by Christmas, you know what I mean? And he's like, all right, that's cool. And then a few months later, he changes jobs. He's still with the same company, but he's at a different location. And I end up seeing him months later, and I'm like, dude, it is coming. Like, look at the art, blah blah blah, this and that. And then I see him a little bit later, and I'm like, it's coming, dude. It is gonna come. He is doing it for real. He's like, oh, that's cool, man. Me and my chick aren't even together anymore. Uh, so it's just a book for me now. You know what I mean? I'm like, all right. And then a couple months ago, or a month ago, something like that, I see him again. He comes in and he's like limping around, and I'm like, what the heck? So I go tell him, I'm like, hey, dude, give me your number. Um, he started fulfilling, so we should get the books in like a week or two. But I mean, this isn't, it's been longer than a week or two, definitely. So basically, the dude broke up with this, it missed Christmas, then he broke up with this chick. Later, he got into a car accident that almost killed him, and he's almost completely healed by the time he's going to get this book. You know what I mean? Like, that's, I don't know, that's just not it doesn't sit well with me. This entire time I've been trying to convince him that I didn't just steal his money from him, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I think if it was just me, I don't think it would be that big of an issue. Uh, to me, how far that he was late. I mean, don't get me wrong. I gave Mike Miller so much crap about him being like late. Like I just was a jerk to him about it. But then once I got his book from him, and I realized that, you know, other people were they're not lying. They're just didn't completely think everything through, I guess. Um, I haven't had as big of an issue with people being late, but this book is really late. There's a few others that are extremely late, and yes, it does piss me off. You know what I mean? But I can't complain about the books. They did come to me completely undamaged. Everything looks amazing. I mean, other than I think they should have been bagged and boarded separately. Other than that, I think we're good. I think we're good on everything. So I hope you guys enjoyed this unboxing, and y'all stay safe. Have a good night and try to stay out of trouble. Take it easy, y'all.